What can we expect from Saturday's game? And have you prepared any different due to the coaching change from Harrison to Ahmed this week?
Well, I don't think we've changed anything different. We've kind of training to look after ourselves, to get ourselves in the best possible condition for the game. The coaching change, this is the third time it's happened to us now, 3 games on the trot. How much impact Ahmed will have in that time, it's difficult to say. The last result was a good result for Knights, a win over Beachside, so they'll be on a high from that, and the new coach will come in and try and lift the spirit, so it'll be a difficult game.
Excellent. South Hobart travelling along quite well at the moment. Knights desperate to claw themselves further up the ladder. Any change to the starting lineup this week with possible bench sitters Luke Hoogsley and John Lowe possibly to come in?
Yeah, we might bring one of them in. I don't think we'll play Johnny from the start this week. Luke has a little chance. We'll just see what the weekend brings. I don't think there's any great need to change. The first 11 players have been in good form. The combinations are good. They're playing well together as a group, and it's maybe more likely that those two will come in for the Lacazette Jack Cup.
John Lowe really cemented himself as a good player coming off the bench. What about last week? Were there any highlights or key coaching moments that you thought were important to the game?
I thought we played well throughout the game. I mean, in the first half we were quite dominant. We took the game to Zebras. They got a penalty. The marking was a bit slack. We didn't get tight enough for that, and second half our pressurising was a little bit tighter and better, so I don't think there was any major point. Obviously Johnny coming on and scoring the 2 goals, people can say that was a coaching point or what, but I just think the team was playing well and the chances were coming, and on the day Johnny popped in there and took the 2. I mean, Andy also scored a cracking goal as well, running through the middle. So the performance from my point of view was good. We kept possession well, we created chances, so I was happy with that.
I thought Shae Hickey really changed the game by getting dragged. So had a good impact.
John had a bit of impact when he came on for Shae, but maybe Shae softened them up for him.
I'd like to think that. The back post have been putting together a dream team this week, which has been a bit of a talking point amongst some of the players. Is there anybody from the Southern Premier League or even the Northern Premier League that you believe you could bring into South Hobart's system to strengthen our title chances at all?
I think it's a it's a good question. It's a difficult one to answer. We brought Braden Mann in from Ulverston. I've known Braden for 3-4 years. We've watched and monitored him quite closely, so it wasn't a gamble. It was a step that we knew would pay off, and to say we could bring anyone else in, I'd be lying. I think we would have to be careful who we chose and then made sure that they came in and they could fit in with the style of football that we played, so doubtful.
A big game coming up for Manchester United this week. A prediction on the score?
I think United will win maybe 1-0, 2-0 against Chelsea. It will be a tough game. Chelsea are a strong, powerful side, but United are now in the Champions League, so the pressure's off there. And for them just to get a result against Chelsea, I think they'll do that. But I fancy they might win by 1 or 2 goals.
Which players to make a difference for the Reds?
I think Giggs will play, and I think Park will have a very instrumental job to do as well. But perhaps the game could be won by people like Valencia stopping Cole, getting forward, and if Nani plays, he might be a threat on the other side.
Excellent. Big game for South Hobart this weekend, taking on former powerhouse and still potential powerhouse in Glenorchy Knights. It's an ex-club of mine. I played there for 5 or 6 years, quite a few years ago before I came to South Hobart. And I was lucky enough to be there through some of the club's real high points. I was there in differing capacities, but I was there when we went on and won everything with the Glenorchy Knights, which is something I've been lucky enough to do here at South Hobart as well. But it does make it a bit of a bigger deal when you come into the weekend playing a club, knowing the sort of heights that they've been at and could definitely get back to. I think the coaching change during the week of Nick Harrison to Ahmed was a tricky one. I don't know if it's necessarily the right thing for the club, but it's not my place to say. I'm sure it will have a good effect on them, and they'll spur them on, and a lot of players in there that play high on emotion, people like Corey Smith and Jade Clay and those sort of people are very good players on their day, and I'm sure that it'll be one of their days this weekend, so we need to make sure that we're at our best out there. Looks like it's going to be Arctic on Saturday night at KGV, so hopefully we'll get back in the long sleeve strip. I don't know if anybody else wants to do that, but I'd like to get back in the long sleeve strip for Saturday night's game. It's a personal note though. Yeah, it should be a really good game. A few coaching changes, I think, this week. I don't know for sure. Ken's been getting his cards pretty close to his chest, but I suspect Hoogslud will come out and play. So if I'm lucky enough to be out there, I'll just make the most of my 60 minutes and see what I can do. Go south.
A little break last week, holiday, school holiday time. What did you do with your break in your break time?
I was lucky enough to go away to a relaxation stroke fitness camp in Byron Bay. It was a little bit distracting having the Blues and Roots Festival on nearby, Ken, but I made sure I got myself down to the beach most mornings for some Tai Chi and stretching for a couple of hours. I used to go and I had a daily run that I used to do. I'd stop and have a little break at the Lennox Head Hotel, but then I'd make my way home. And yeah, no, it was pretty good. It was a bit of a shock to get out of the routine that we've been in. We trained pretty heavily, but I think it had a good effect on me physically and mentally.
And this week you've been back into full training again. How do you feel now?
Oh, I'm getting a bit long in the tooth now, Ken. I'm 26 years young, and I'm probably, well, I am the oldest field player for the club at the moment, apart from Sam Criver, who's, I don't know, 40 something. But as far as field players go, I'm definitely the longest, so I'm just at the kind of age, Ken, where I have to manage my body and do my own thing a little bit so that I can hopefully go around again next year.
So the break, you think you feel much better after the break, and now you're just keeping topped up?
Exactly. I do feel a little bit...
Till the end of the season.
That's it. It's just about doing little pieces here and there again, working on the solid fitness base that I've got now, and just doing a little bit here and there to keep it topped up and stay at my A1 condition.
Very good. Thank you, Shae.
Thanks, Ken.
I mean, they're top of the league. They're unbeaten in 53 games. That's a huge task for your team, which you've just taken over.
Well, I will say that, Walter. I think we can compete. I think the boys what we have, we can put a good game. Again, I cannot talk now, about the result. Maybe if I'm in a different situation, maybe I will talk about the result. But in the time being, just all what we'll try to do to get these boys together. And we just will have a good game, good performance, and we'll see what happens.
I mean, you've watched South Hobart regularly. Yeah. How do you rate them as a team?
Again, like as... in Tasmania, they are the champion. There is no question about that. It's a good team, a good coach, and a respected team. So we have to know when we go play them, we have to know what we are going to. But also, by saying that, we're not scared of them. We're not scared of them, but we'll go and perform. And the vibe in the club is very good about it. So they're not scared, but I hope they go there and they give their 100%, enjoy the game, and we'll see what happens.
I mean, you've just taken over, you've only had a couple of training sessions, so it's probably a bit early, but how are you finding the squad?
Unfortunately, we have some, boys missing, so we have some injury, and also we have some boys that didn't train for last training, but hopefully they will come all together. We're training also tomorrow. So... things looking good. I'm really, very optimistic about it. And that's good.
The team's off the bottom now. Does that ease the pressure a little bit?
Not really. I've been to that before, Walter, so I know how to deal with a situation like that. And just by saying that as well, there is no pressure really on me from the committee or anything really. So this is good. As I said before, all what we need is not to get relegated, and if we can get better than that, it will be bonus. Thank you very much, and thank you for having me, and thank you for South Hobart show, and I hope we'll see you soon.
Just like to say that I was very nervous today, but I thought that both teams played a really good game of football and I really enjoyed myself.
What do you have to say about the coaching of South Hobart?
The coaching is absolutely brilliant. The whole coaching staff, and I think that I have to be very careful with my words. And just to say that I think the senior coach is absolutely fabulous and I love him to bits.
Comment on the game today, technical director?
We had 30 attempts on goal, we only scored 3 goals. We need to do a lot better than that. That's as simple as it is. I think we had about a dozen corners as well, so nothing out of those.
Today's game, battled it out, I guess, and got a bit lucky at the end. Number 6 coming on, does well and scores 2 goals. Thought first half we kind of lacked a bit of intensity at times. Their goal, I mean, we had 10, 15 chances in the first half. And probably should have buried them, but they had 1 or 2 and they got there. So went into the break 1-0 down, and credit to our boys, we fought after that, and I don't think they really looked like scoring after that. We put a lot of pressure on them, and I mean 3 chances from 30 or whatever it was is probably not good enough, and we really need to work on that. But yeah, I mean number 6, he played really well. So when he came on, it was good.